been awarded a second-class merit. After the introductions, Lin Dashan paused, his tone turning serious. Although our station just received an award, that doesn't mean we can relax. The annual arrest competition has begun, and our past performance has been far from ideal. In fact, we've consistently ranked near the bottom. Effective immediately, all leave is cancelled. Focus entirely on completing arrest quotas. Yes, sir. The officers responded in unison, their eyes blazing with determination. Shuri-chan and Zhao Daqing, however, were taken aback. When did the station receive this commendation? Lin Dashan surveyed the group with satisfaction, his gaze settling on Fong Ning. An idea immediately formed in his mind. He must use this manhunt competition as an opportunity to properly cultivate Fong Ning. With that thought, Lin Dashan spoke slowly. Ahem. As per tradition, new recruit Fong Ning will be assigned a mentor here at the station. Director, since I've interacted with Fong Ning more frequently, I'll serve as his mentor. Zhang Feng burst through the crowd, urgently calling out to Lin Dashan. He'd witnessed Fong Ning's capabilities firsthand. This mentorship role was his for the taking. With Fong Ning's talent, promotions and raises were a sure thing. Being his mentor would surely bring him prestige later on, right? Before Zhang Feng could finish speaking, another burly figure pushed through the crowd. Chief, don't listen to his nonsense. By rotation, it's clearly my turn. I'll be Fong Ning's mentor. He Wei's voice was firm and decisive. He flashed a smile at Fong Ning first, then turned his gaze toward Zhang Feng, refusing to be outdone. You're shameless. You're the shameless one. Shuri-chan was taken aback. Mentoring newcomers was exhausting. Didn't everyone usually avoid it? They'd normally pass the responsibility back and forth. Why were they suddenly fighting over it today? Could it be because of Fong Ning? Her gaze toward him grew increasingly curious. Zhao Daqing snorted coldly, his eyes brimming with disdain. So what if he caught a thief? Is it really worth fighting over like this? As Zhang Feng and Wei's argument escalated, the station chief shouted to stop them. Stop. Enough bickering. This is chaotic and undisciplined. What kind of example are you setting? Does it really matter who gets to mentor Fong Ning? Aren't we all just contributing to the station? Do you two have any sense of collective honor? Zhang Feng and Wei instantly fell silent, lowering their heads in shame. The director truly showed his stature. His perspective was elevated. His grasp of the bigger picture was beyond ordinary people. The audience below nodded in agreement, deeply resonating with the director's words. Just then, the director spoke softly. Alright, I'll take Fong Ning under my wing. I'll be his mentor. Chapter 12, Poor Zhao Daqing. Zhang Feng? He Wei? Shuri-chan? Zhao Daqing? Everyone seemed to have misheard, their eyes wide as they froze in place. Lin Dashan, unflappable and unruffled, repeated himself. I said I'd be Fong Ning's master. Any objections? No, no problem. Zhang Feng and Wei spoke in unison. Are you kidding? Of course there's no problem. With the chief personally taking on the role of mentor, who would dare object? But the fact that the director himself would personally mentor Fong Ning caught them off guard. They shot Lin Dashan a slightly resentful look. The crowd below was also stunned. While they knew the chief would choose someone highly skilled to mentor Fong Ning, but they hadn't expected the chief to take on the role himself. This carried entirely different weight. It signaled Fong Ning was likely the future successor. The gaze they cast upon Fong Ning instantly grew more intense. Shuri-chan's breathing quickened. She hadn't expected the chief to personally take on an apprentice. She knew the chief had been exceptionally capable in his youth, but an injury had kept him stuck in his current role. Even if Fong Ning caught a thief on his very first day, the chief probably wouldn't have considered taking him on as an apprentice. And earlier, the chief mentioned the station receiving an award. Could that be connected to Fong Ning? Just as Shuri-chan was about to ask, Zhao Daqing suddenly spoke up. Chief, you don't need to personally mentor a new recruit. I can handle it. Zhao Daqing forced a smile at Fong Ning, though inwardly he held a terrible impression of him. Back at the office, everyone used to revolve around him. How could one business trip change everything so drastically? Although the director hadn't formally taken him as an apprentice, his abilities and experience spoke for themselves. He'd always assumed he was the next in line to take over. But who could have predicted Fong Ning would suddenly appear? Not only did he receive such a grand welcome, but the director personally took him as a disciple. What gives? Is he some kind of connected insider? Yeah. That must be it. Lin Dashan knew Zhao Daqing's competitive nature well and didn't want to crush his confidence in front of everyone. He simply said calmly, Fong Ning is a promising newcomer. And since he's joining our division, I'll personally mentor him. Seeing the director's eyes flicker, Zhao Daqing felt even more certain his guess was right and showed no sign of stopping. Director, I'd like to know what Fong Ning's contributions to our division are. It's just catching a thief. What else could it be? A wanted criminal? He finished speaking and looked confidently at the people behind him, hoping for their support. But the colleagues behind him all looked extremely peculiar, eyes fixed on their noses fixed on their hearts, as if they hadn't heard a thing. A sudden sense of foreboding washed over Zhao Daqing. Lin Dashan's face darkened instantly, surprised by Zhao Duqing's lack of tact. At that moment, Zhang Feng beside him couldn't hold back any longer. He addressed Zhao Duqing, enunciating each word clearly. Fang Ning caught a thief on her very first day. The thief confessed to theft totaling over 200,000 yuan. A mere bumbling thief. Even if the amount exceeded 200,000 yuan, it's hardly noteworthy. Zhao Duqing's expression remained unchanged, his chest still puffed out proudly. The thieves he'd caught had stolen nearly 2 million yuan in total. What was a measly 200,000 yuan? Zhang Feng snorted coldly and stepped forward. Not only that, but Fang Ning also assisted the city's criminal police in apprehending a Class A fugitive. What? That's impossible. Zhao Duqing staggered, nearly falling. This was a Class A fugitive. There aren't many Class A fugitives on the run online to begin with, and every single one is a vicious criminal. Not only did Fang Ning encounter one, but he assisted the police in capturing him. How could he be so incredibly lucky? No wonder the welcome ceremony was so grand, and the chief even wanted to take him as an apprentice. Cold sweat beaded on Zhao Duqing's forehead. But with things having come to this, he couldn't afford to lose face. Gritting his teeth, he whispered. I merely assisted the criminal investigation team. I didn't capture him myself. It's nothing to boast about. Zhang Feng's anger turned to laughter. He'd seen stubborn before, but never this stubborn. Then his eyebrows shot up. I forgot to mention earlier, Fang Ning single-handedly apprehended an A-level fugitive and assisted the criminal investigation team in completing the interrogation. Captured single-handedly. Assisted in interrogation. The keywords exploded like thunderclaps in his ears. Zhao Duqing felt as if struck by lightning, a chill surging from the soles of his feet straight up to his heart. How could this be possible? Zhao Duqing felt his entire worldview crumble. A newly hired intern had captured an A-level fugitive single-handedly. Here he was questioning the situation. What a complete embarrassment. Unable to meet anyone's gaze, Zhao Duqing turned away with a grim expression, saying nothing. Without so much as a farewell, he hurried toward the door. He had to get out of this place. He simply couldn't bear to stay any longer. Seeing Zhao Duqing about to leave, Zhang Feng decided to go all out with his remarks, delivering another series of heavy blows. Oh, and Fang Ning was awarded a second-class merit. Zhao Duqing's footsteps faltered slightly, but he didn't turn back. And by the way, Fang Ning isn't an intern anymore. He was made permanent in just 2 days. Zhao Duqing staggered, grabbing the courtyard gate for support. Only after several long seconds did he shakily make his way out the door. Oh, and because of Fang Ning, our office received commendation from the district bureau. Outside the gate, Zhao Duqing froze completely. He stood there for a full minute before suddenly bolting away. Only one thought occupied Zhao Duqing's mind now: get the hell out of this place. Seeing this scene, the people in the courtyard actually felt a pang of sympathy for Zhao Duqing. Why couldn't you just listen quietly? You had to ask. Now look at you, can't take it anymore. Shi Chan beside him couldn't stop gaping. Only now did she understand what the chief meant by potential. This wasn't just potential, this was pure genius. On his very first day on the job, he captured an A-level fugitive alive, successfully interrogated him, earned a second-class merit award, and got his permanent position. Compared to him, she felt like the real rookie. Just then, Lin Dashan's phone rang. He answered it, frowning the whole time. A few minutes later, he hung up and said sternly, "The precinct is calling a meeting for all district station chiefs. Word is the higher-ups are very dissatisfied with the crime reporting rate in the old city district. The bureau is taking this burglar-catching competition very seriously. The results may be factored into everyone's year-end evaluations. Our station faces immense pressure. I expect everyone to be on high alert and take this competition seriously. All teams depart immediately. If a team fails to catch 3 thieves in a day, don't bother coming back." Everyone's eyes widened in alarm, realizing this campaign was unlike any before. With grim expressions, they began packing their gear to depart. After delivering his speech, Lin Dashan frowned as he looked at Fang Ning. He had to attend a meeting at the bureau and wouldn't have time. With Zhao Duqing, the expert thief catcher, unavailable, who could he find to train him? Suddenly, his gaze fell on Shi Chan nearby, and his eyes lit up. "Ichan, your assignment just ended. You don't need to rush to catch thieves. Give Fang Ning a proper training session on how to do it." "Got it." Ichan glanced at Fang Ning before nodding in agreement. Lin Dashan nodded in satisfaction, then looked at Fang Ning with lingering concern. "Fang Ning, you just apprehended a wanted criminal. Going after petty thieves now, won't that feel like a step down?" "That's just how things are at the police station. Reporting to the chief, I guarantee mission completion." Lin Dashan turned in surprise to see Fang Ning's eyes gleaming with excitement, showing no trace of disappointment. His expression suggested he wasn't off to catch a thief, but to pick up money. Chapter 13, No Random Arrests, He's the Thief. After giving his orders, the chief turned and got into his car to head to the district bureau for a meeting. Fang Ning stood there grinning like an idiot. To him, catching thieves really was no different from picking up money. These thieves were nothing but pure, shining justice points. For others, catching thieves was difficult, but for him, with the true eye, it couldn't be simpler. With the eye of truth activated, how could he possibly fail to catch a thief? The only concerns were whether there were enough handcuffs, and whether the detention cells were large enough. Seeing Fong Ning still grinning like an idiot, Shuri-chan furrowed her delicate brows slightly, thinking to herself, typical newbie getting this excited about catching thieves. But catching thieves wasn't that easy. The crooks in the old district were as cunning as monkeys. A two-person squad catching 2 thieves in a day was already a decent haul. Never mind. I'll give him a heads up later so he won't be too disappointed when reality hits. Hello, I'm Shii-chan, pleased to meet you. A voice as sweet as a nightingale's song reached his ears. Fong Ning finally snapped out of his daze, his expression shifting as he forced a smile. Hello, I'm Fong Ning. Nice to meet you. Sis-chan, let's go catch some thieves. I'll wait for you at the door. With that, he dashed toward the door. Shuri-chan stood frozen in place, a flicker of confusion crossing her eyes. What was that about? That was supposed to be a handshake, and he pulled his hand away faster than she could. And what's more? Shouldn't she have started by complimenting herself first? After all, she's a police officer. Not just the precinct's police flower, but the city's police flower. Not even a single compliment? He just said hello and bolted, claiming he had to go catch a thief? Catch your ass. Oomph. Such a straight guy. Thief-catching maniac. Shuri-chan gritted her teeth, gave a soft huff, and quickened her pace to follow. The Urxiankyo area wasn't huge, but it wasn't small either. Fong Ning and Shi-chan walked all the way to the old town. It wasn't that they didn't drive, it was simply that the Urxiankyo police station was too poor. They only had 3 cars and 5 motorcycles in total. 1 sedan for the station chief, 1 spare, and another that wouldn't start. As for the motorcycles? Everyone preferred walking over riding them. They stalled 3 times per kilometer and weren't even worth pushing. The two walked for most of the day. Shuri-chan, having walked for a year or two, was long accustomed to it. By the time they reached the old town, he was only slightly flushed. Just as he turned to reassure Fong Ning that this was normal and he'd get used to it eventually. But then came a thud. Shuri-chan collided headfirst into Fong Ning's chest. Her vision darkened and she nearly collapsed. Fong Ning caught Shuri-chan by the waist, his wide eyes filled with confusion. Sister-chan, why did you suddenly turn around? Seeing Fong Ning completely unfazed, his face unflushed and breathing steady, Shi-chan swallowed the words on her lips. Only then did she realize she was being held in his arms. A wave of embarrassment and anger washed over her. Nothing. Let go of me. Splat. Fong Ning let go, and Shi-chan immediately landed on her, but with a thud. You. Why did you let go? Shuri-chan clutched her bottom, her clear eyes glaring angrily at Fong Ning. Fong Ning felt a bit embarrassed under her glare and stammered, but Sister-chan, you told me to let go. Shuri-chan's teeth were chattering. She glared at Fong Ning for a long moment before finally spitting out. You're such a straight guy. Fong Ning felt awkward upon hearing this. Though he'd seen his share of women in his past life, he'd never been in a relationship and knew nothing about romance. It wasn't that women hadn't pursued him, he simply dared not commit. He didn't know when his time would come, and he couldn't bring himself to drag someone else down with him. Shuri-chan stomped ahead in a huff, her steps growing faster and faster. Fong Ning followed easily behind. Soon, their pace quickened until they found themselves at the jewelry market. Seeing the large characters for jewelry market, Shuri-chan halted abruptly, a frown creasing her lips. How did we end up here? The plan was to familiarize Fong Ning with catching thieves today. He intended to go somewhere like a bus station, where the thieves were mostly amateurs and easier to apprehend. But the thieves in the jewelry market were all professionals. Though numerous, they were the elite of the criminal world, making them extremely difficult to catch. That's why, even though she knew this place was rife with thieves, nearby police stations rarely bothered coming here. At the end of the day, it just wasn't worth the effort. Oh well. Since we're here, I'll start with some theory first. Catching thieves can wait until tomorrow. With a plan in mind, Shuri-chan pointed at the jewelry market and began. This is the largest jewelry trading market in the old city district. It has numerous stalls, heavy foot traffic, and no surveillance cameras. Today I'll show you around and explain key considerations for catching thieves. Pay close attention. Fong Ning? Where is he? Shuri-chan turned around only to find Fong Ning gone. She froze in shock. Scanning the area, she finally spotted Fong Ning darting into the jewelry market so fast it looked like he was going to snatch money. Oomph, such a straight guy, a thief-catching maniac. Stomping her foot in frustration, Shuri-chan had no choice but to follow. The moment Fong Ning stepped into the jewelry market, dozens of red dots flashed before his eyes. Some were as red as Xiaolu, while others were even deeper. So many thieves. Fong Ning's mouth stretched wide, nearly reaching his ears. This was pure, living justice points. Stepping deeper into the market, a cacophony of noise washed over him like a tidal wave. The clamor of vendors hawking their wares, the shouts of buyers haggling over prices, all rising and falling in a relentless chorus. Jade sellers, jewelers, jadeite vendors, everything imaginable. Row upon row of stalls stretched on, disappearing into the distance. Narrow walkways separated each row of stalls, barely wide enough for 2 or 3 adults to pass side by side. The passageway was bustling with people, shoulder to shoulder, creating a lively atmosphere. Fong Ning took a deep breath, intending to start scanning his surroundings from his own position. Opening his true eyes again, he immediately spotted a red light point very close to him right beside him. The red dot kept moving, slowly drawing nearer to him. It was getting closer to me. Fong Ning's heart skipped a beat. Suppressing his inner turmoil, he turned his head casually to glance to the side. A man in a suit wearing sunglasses appeared before him. The man wore a crisp suit, carried a briefcase, and sported polished leather boots. His slicked back hair gleamed. He looked every bit the part of a boss coming to place an order. No one would ever suspect he was a thief. But by the looks of it, he was targeting her? Fong Ning's mind raced. He chose to stay put, waiting for the fish to take the bait. The man in the suit moved in a serpentine pattern, slowly and unobtrusively edging closer to Fong Ning. His eyes darted around beneath the sunglasses, clearly targeting Fong Ning. Fong Ning waited for a while, noticing the man only getting closer to observe, showing no intention of making a move. Damn it, these thieves are too cunning. I shouldn't have waited, I should have just grabbed the bastard. Just as Fong Ning cursed under his breath and prepared to strike, the man in the suit suddenly couldn't hold back. He charged forward, colliding with Fong Ning. Damn it! Don't you have eyes? The man seized the moment of impact to snatch something, then cursed loudly. The guilty party accuses first. Fong Ning said nothing, flashing his signature smile as he stared straight at the man. The man's hair stood on end instantly. His entire back felt like it was being pricked by needles, and a wave of dread washed over him. I've been waiting for you. Fong Ning spoke with a smile, but to the man in the suit, it felt utterly terrifying. The man turned to flee, but it was too late. Fong Ning grabbed the man's right arm, flicked it upward, and a sharp cracking sound echoed as the arm dislocated. Ah! The man in the suit let out a piercing scream as his entire body lurched backward with the force of the injury. Fong Ning swiftly drew his handcuffs. Click! The arrest was complete, executed with fluid precision. Meanwhile, Shuri-chan finally spotted Fong Ning and was about to explode in anger, demanding why he'd acted on his own. Suddenly, she witnessed Fong Ning violently subdue a suit-clad man who looked like a boss, slapping handcuffs on him without hesitation. Shuri-chan's scalp prickled. She sprinted over, her voice tinged with disbelief. Fong Ning, what are you doing? You can't just arrest people like that. Fong Ning looked up, recognized Shuri-chan, and grinned. Sis-chan, I didn't arrest him arbitrarily, he's a thief. Chapter 14, Chief Fong Ning made the arrest. Inside the jewelry market. Shuri-chan felt a wave of relief wash over her when Fong Ning called the man in the suit a thief. The jewelry market was bustling with people from all walks of life, every kind imaginable. If she'd arrested the wrong person and someone filmed it to post online, she'd be finished. She glanced at the man in the suit and noticed his arm dangling limply, his right shoulder was clearly dislocated. Damn, that's brutal. Shi-chan's heart skipped a beat, and she felt a pang of concern. In just a few minutes, Fong Ning had apprehended a thief and disabled his right hand. If they'd made a mistake, there'd be no room for maneuver. As the man in the suit was handcuffed, he realized the two were police officers. His heart sank instantly. But instead of giving up, he started screaming at the top of his lungs. Murder! Murder! Help! His shouts instantly drew the attention of onlookers, and soon the scene was swarming with layers upon layers of people. His eyes darted around restlessly, seemingly not seeing what he wanted to see. He shouted even more desperately. Look everyone! I only touched this guy, and he broke my hand. After saying this, he deliberately shouted again, as if trying to send some kind of signal. The crowd immediately began pointing and whispering at Fong Ning. Hey, buddy, he just touched you, and you broke his arm? That's way too aggressive. You two, don't leave. I'm calling the police right now. Seeing the crowd growing larger, Shuri-chan quickly pulled out his police ID and waved it around. Police investigation in progress. He's a thief. Everyone, please cooperate. Hearing it was a police investigation, the crowd instantly fell silent, their expressions shifting to one of sudden understanding. Seeing the situation under control, Shuri-chan breathed a sigh of relief. But just then, another group of people surrounded them, seemingly with a purpose. They began shouting. Wait, can the police just arrest people like this? What proof do you have he's the thief? Exactly. Arbitrary arrests by police are illegal. Release him immediately. He's my client. If you don't let him go, I'll file a complaint. Their sharp words surrounded Fong Ning and Shuri-chan, their eyes cold and piercing. Shuri-chan panicked. She'd never seen anything like this before and was momentarily at a loss, stammering and unable to speak. Oh? You want evidence? Fong Ning, who had been silently scanning the area, suddenly perked up and spoke softly. Just as the group closed in, he clearly saw several small red dots heading his way. He quickly realized they were all accomplices. They must have seen their accomplice arrested, then spotted only two beat cops, and now they were trying to use their numbers to demand his release. No wonder they say thieves in the jewelry market are hard to catch. This is sheer lawlessness. The man in the suit, hearing Fong Ning speak, flashed a look of viciousness in his eyes and shouted. Exactly. Without evidence, you have no right to arrest us. Show us proof, or don't even think about leaving this place. The group leaned forward, their expressions turning menacing. The suit-wearing gang had been operating in the jewelry market for years, and some members had been caught before. But whenever one was caught, the rest of the gang would resort to forceful resistance and stubborn obstruction. And surprisingly, they'd succeeded several times. Not to mention this time, there were only 2 officers. The group advanced toward Fong Ning with growing confidence, the smirk on the suit-clad man's face widening. Shuri-chan, sensing imminent danger, realized they were accomplices. She immediately shielded Fong Ning and shouted. What do you think you're doing? We're police officers. Are you trying to assault an officer? Her words were stern, but her heart was racing. There were 8 of them. Even if she could handle 2, that still left 6. What should I do? What should I do? Just then, Fong Ning yanked her behind him. Calm down. A woman should stand behind a man. Without waiting for Shuri-chan's reaction, he grabbed the suit-wearing man and stepped forward, opening his jacket pocket. You wanted to see the evidence? Come take a look. Seeing Fong Ning alone, the suit-wearing gang didn't think twice. They crowded around, craning their necks to see what was inside the pocket. The next second, Fong Ning grabbed the heads of the 2 in front of him and slammed them together with a thud. Then, with both fists flying simultaneously, he delivered 2 thuds, one to each of the remaining 2 men's foreheads. All 4 men collapsed to the ground in an instant. The entire sequence took less than 2 seconds. He then grabbed the hair of the 2 on either side and delivered a flying kick, sending them flying too. The 2 men whose hair was grabbed hadn't even processed what was happening when they realized they were the only ones left standing. Terrified, their legs trembled uncontrollably. Before Fong Ning could act, their bodies went limp and they collapsed to the ground. Officer, please stop. We're thieves. I surrender. I surrender too. MHM. Fong Ning nodded with satisfaction, pointing at the 6 people wailing nearby. You 2, find some rope and tie these guys up. Tie yourselves up too. Yes, sir. We'll go right away. The 2 nodded like chicks pecking at grain, as docile as could be. Are you kidding? Getting locked up would mean a few days at most. Resisting would probably get us beaten to death. Seeing the 6 people on the ground wailing incessantly, the 2 felt a pang of fear. Without hesitation, they found rope and bound the 6 tightly, finally not forgetting to tie up the man in the suit and themselves. The surrounding crowd was stunned by the scene, their eyes filled with shock. These cops are crazy. Taking on 8 of them and still holding their own. Turns out they were all thieves. How brazen. Good. Well done. Thieves in the jewelry market have been long overdue for arrest. Someone started clapping, and soon the crowd joined in, their applause growing louder and more sustained. Fong Ning, unusually flushed, waved his hands awkwardly, his face turning bright red. Shuri-chan stared blankly at the scene, her heart pounding wildly. The moment Fong Ning shielded her behind him had stirred an unexpected flutter in her heart. Ever since she joined the police force against her family's wishes, she had worked diligently and never backed down. If men could do it, so could she. She had always considered herself a strong, capable woman. Yet in that very moment, she felt like a vulnerable little woman in need of protection. Especially when she saw Fong Ning take down the gang of 8 with effortless precision, her heart raced even faster, and she couldn't even bring herself to look at him. Chan Jie? How are we sending these thieves back? Sis-chan? Huh? What? Chan looked up blankly, her face flushed with a faint blush. The rosy hue spread across her cheeks like a ripe peach, exuding an alluring fragrance. Sis-chan, what's wrong? Do you have a fever? Fong Ning's eyes widened. Si-chan's expression changed instantly. She snorted. What else can we do? Call the chief. With that, she turned her back on Fong Ning and dialed the number herself. Meanwhile, Kang Dongsheng was driving Lin Dashin to the precinct when he suddenly received a call from Shuri-chan. The phone connected and Shi-chan's voice came through. Chief, we've caught 9 thieves. Send a car to pick them up. What? 9 thieves? Ichan, you're incredible. Leading new recruits and catching 9 thieves. Truly the elite of our station. A few seconds of silence followed before she slowly replied. Chief, I didn't catch them. Fong Ning did. Chapter 15, another 23? What? Fong Ning caught them? Where did he catch them? How did he do it? A barrage of questions poured out of Lin Dashin. He couldn't fathom how Fong Ning had managed to catch 9 thieves in just 2 hours. That averages out to nearly 5 thieves per hour. Unbelievable. He'd set the squad's daily target at 3 thieves, a number he'd gritted his teeth and pushed for. If one team caught 2 a day and 5 teams caught 10 total, he'd be laughing himself awake in bed. Let alone 9 in 2 hours. On the other end of the line, Shuri-chan recounted every detail of Fong Ning's arrest to Lin Dashin. Wow, one leads to a whole nest. Excellent. Only after hearing the full story did Lin Dashin grasp the situation. It was 1 arrest leading to 8 more. Still, Lin Dashin couldn't help but marvel. He'd assumed Fong Ning was just skilled and lucky when catching thieves and fugitives. He figured it would take some time to get the hang of it when he actually had to catch thieves himself. Little did he expect that on just the first day of his training, he'd already caught 9 thieves. Lin Dashan suddenly felt his spine straighten, his confidence surging instantly. "You two stay right where you are. I'll send reinforcements." With that, Lin Dashan hung up and began making arrangements, a smile never leaving his lips. Kong Dongsheng, who was driving, noticed the joy on Lin Dashan's face and couldn't help but ask curiously, "Old Lin, what's got you so happy? Who did you catch?" Hearing Kong Dongsheng's question, Lin Dashan's eyes sparkled with amusement. He waved his hand dismissively. "Nothing much. Just Fong Ning catching a few petty thieves on her first day." Kong Dongsheng, unaware of Lin Dashan's smug expression, followed up. "Oh, catching thieves on her first day is pretty impressive. No wonder you took her as your apprentice, she's got real potential. By the way, how many thieves did he catch?" Lin Dashan had been waiting for this moment. He chuckled and held up one finger, waving it in front of Kong Dongsheng. "1. Kong Dongsheng shook his head. "Wait, you said several." 3. Lin Dashan shook his head without answering. 6. Kong Dongsheng's pupils contracted slightly, as if 6 thieves were already pushing the limit. Lin Dashan finally burst out laughing. "Ha! Just one short of 10. Squeal." The sedan slammed on its brakes, startling Lin Dashan. Kong Dongsheng froze for a moment before regaining his composure, murmuring, "Old Lin, why don't you take Fong Ning as your apprentice? I've never had one myself. Get lost." Meanwhile, Fong Ning and Shirachan stood by the roadside awaiting backup from the station. Behind Fong Ning stood a line of thieves bound together. Not a single one of them was in one piece. Some had dislocated arms, others had massive bumps on their heads. Some bore giant shoe prints on their chests, others had jaws swollen to the point of bursting. Fong Ning and Shirachan stood by the roadside with 9 individuals, each in a different state of disarray. They were as conspicuous as could be. Passers-by cast strange glances in their direction. Shiakan felt something was off and kept her distance. Only Fong Ning grinned widely. Whenever passers-by shot questioning looks his way, Fong Ning would pull out his police badge, point to the 9 people behind him, and explain with a grin. "We're cops. These guys are all thieves." The 9 thieves kept their heads buried in their necks, not uttering a word. Their toes alone could count out a 3-bedroom apartment. Inside, they were screaming, "This is so embarrassing. Just arrest me already." Fortunately, a gold van slowly approached nearby. Behind the wheel were Fong Ning's old acquaintances, Zhang Feng and He Wei. Their eyes lit up upon seeing Fong Ning and Shi Chan, but their hearts sank when they noticed the 9 figures standing nearby. "Fong Ning. Sister Chan." The chief said to find a big truck to haul the thieves away. "I was wondering when our station became so efficient at catching criminals. Who knew it was your team? Sis Chan, you're amazing, you caught 9 thieves at once." Seeing the cowering thieves behind them, their eyes lit up. 9. That's equivalent to the station's daily quota. With the other team's catches, we might easily surpass 20 thieves today. If that happens, our station won't be dead last in the arrest competition. Shinichan's delicate nose wrinkled slightly, a trace of embarrassed anger flitting across her face. "I didn't catch them, Fong Ning did." "Ha? Whoa." Both turned to stare at Fong Ning, their eyes blazing with disbelief. Shock had rendered them speechless. "This is insane. Catching a wanted criminal on your first day could be chalked up to luck, but to be this good at catching thieves too? How is anyone supposed to compete with this?" Fong Ning scratched his head and waved his hands. "It's all luck. Could you two please take these guys back to the station?" Snapping back to reality, the 2 men knew time was tight. Without further ado, Zhang Feng swung open the van door. "You lot, behave yourselves and come back with us for questioning. Otherwise..." Before Zhang Feng could finish his sentence, he saw several thieves scramble into the van like they were fleeing, moving at lightning speed. Their hands were strung together in a row with rope, looking just like a string of candied hawthorn berries. "This..." And Wei suddenly felt his brain couldn't keep up. Handcuffs aren't in style anymore? Rope is the new trend? And what was with those thieves? They got into the van so fast, weren't they supposed to put up a fight? He'd been all set for a fight, and now he felt a bit deflated. The 2 men looked at Fong Ning suspiciously, their eyes brimming with questions. Fong Ning chuckled. "I suppose they're all genuinely repentant, eager to start their rehabilitation." The thieves nearly fainted, their vision going black. "ING can't wait to reform? It's just so damn embarrassing." Ding! Successful apprehension of criminals detected. Reward justice points, 100. Ding! Successful apprehension of criminals detected. Reward justice points, 100. Ding! Successful apprehension of criminal detected. Reward justice points, 100. Hearing the system's notification, Fong Ning felt elated. Less than 2 hours, and 900 justice points were credited to his account. What a rush! Those 9 petty thieves were just the tip of the iceberg. The jewelry market was still teeming with bright red dots. All that shiny justice points. Fong Ning's eyes grew even brighter as he pulled Shirichan back into the jewelry market. First time was awkward, second time was smooth. Now navigating the market with ease, Fong Ning felt no trace of his earlier clumsiness. Near a stall, a young man wearing gold-rimmed glasses was haggling with the vendor. Taking advantage of the vendor's inattention, the young man's hand was secretly reaching toward the jewelry inside the stall. 1 piece, 2 pieces, 3 pieces, soon he had gathered quite a haul. Satisfied with his haul, he stood to leave. Just then, a large hand seized his wrist and with a click, handcuffs snapped shut. "I'm a police officer. You're under arrest." A man wearing a baseball cap, thin and gaunt, was looking around the aisle. Just then, someone tapped him on the shoulder from behind. The man turned to see an unfamiliar yet determined face. "I'm a police officer. You're under arrest." Before he could react, the man was handcuffed with a click and led away. The man was stunned. What was going on? He had only just begun scouting for prey, and now he was arrested? Noon. In a corner of the jewelry market, Shirichan watched as more and more thieves gathered around him. His expression shifted from shock to indifference, then finally to numbness. Over the course of the morning, Fong Ning had emerged every few minutes to hand over a thief to her. Now there were 22 thieves piled up behind him. So she'd brought Fong Ning out to catch thieves, yet she hadn't caught a single one herself, just serving as his support staff? Seeing the swarm of thieves behind her, Shirichan felt an indescribable mix of emotions. Watching Fong Ning escort yet another thief out, she couldn't take it anymore and hurriedly called the station chief. The call connected quickly. Shirichan took a deep breath. "Chief, Fong Ning has caught 23 thieves. Request backup." Chapter 16, The Cocky Lin Dashan. Time rewound a few minutes earlier. Inside the meeting room of the Old City District Police Station. Bureau Chief Gao Tongwei sat at the head of the table, his sharp gaze sweeping across the station chiefs. Since the start of this year, the Old City District Bureau's crime reporting rate has been climbing steadily. It has already exceeded last year's figures by 50%. The Bureau is highly dissatisfied with our performance. I've gathered you all here today for one purpose only. Every police station under this Bureau must sign a formal pledge. Targets must be met. Gao Tongwei's face was flushed with anger, his chest heaving as he spoke with palpable agitation. He couldn't help it, he didn't want to be angry, but yesterday at the Bureau meeting, he had been publicly criticized by the chief. Had it not been for the second-class merit earned by Urxiankyo Station for apprehending an A-level fugitive, yesterday wouldn't have ended with just a public reprimand. Thinking of this, Gao Tongwei turned to look at Lin Dashan beside him, his eyes filled with both admiration and resentment. He admired the Urxiankyo police station for capturing the fugitive and earning merit, but resented their consistently dismal performance in the annual crime-fighting competition. Not only were they dead last in the sub-bureau, but they were dead last in the entire city. This had significantly dragged down the overall ranking of the Old City District Bureau. Seeing Chief Gao's face turn ashen, the station chiefs knew this year's thief-catching competition was no ordinary affair. One by one, they hurried to make their pledges. The Lulapu Police Station spoke first. "Chief Gao, we at Lulapu Police Station guarantee we'll meet the arrest quota 20 thieves per day." Gao Tongwei nodded upon hearing this, seemingly satisfied. Whoa! The station chiefs sucked in their breath. 20 per day? That's insane. Even the top-ranked station in the Old City District Bureau averaged only about 15 thieves per day. 20? That's suicide. Though the station chiefs inwardly grumbled, they weren't about to be outdone. The Balaton Police Station immediately chimed in. "Our Baituntan station may be understaffed, but we'll give it our all this time. We guarantee at least 23 arrests daily." Gao Tongwei's eyes lit up upon hearing this. He gave the Balaton chief an appreciative look and praised aloud, "Balaton's got spirit." Damn! The other station chiefs cursed inwardly. This competition is insane. If they underpromise, won't they? Then, as if suddenly remembering something, they scrambled to speak up, afraid that if they were late, they'd have to raise the stakes again. 4th Street Precinct, we guarantee it. At least 25 thieves caught every single day. Shishuping Police Station, we catch at least 27 thieves every day. The atmosphere grew increasingly heated as the numbers kept climbing higher and higher. Before long, only the Urxiankyo Police Station remained silent. Gulp! Lin Dashan couldn't help but swallow hard, feeling a bit dazed. What was going on? Just moments ago, this group was huddled by the door discussing how to get the chief to lower their quotas, complaining they were too heavy to meet. Now that the meeting started, they were all hyped up like they'd been injected with adrenaline? Good grief, they're even bragging about catching 27 thieves in a single day. Bunch of old foxes. Lin Dashan muttered to himself, his eyelid twitching rapidly as he hesitated over how to speak up. Seeing that only Lin Dashan hadn't spoken yet, the other station chiefs immediately burst into laughter. After all, Urxiankyo Police Station had consistently ranked dead last in the annual thief-catching competition, averaging less than 10 arrests per day. This was going to be a show to watch. All the chiefs' eyes flickered as they turned their gaze toward Lin Dashan. Gao Tongwei looked at Lin Dashan silently, his eyes betraying a hint of disappointment. Lin Dashin, already short-tempered, saw the gleeful expressions around him and the disappointed gaze from the bureau. His blood boiled instantly. He shot to his feet, his voice ringing with conviction. Our Urxiankyo police station guarantee the arrest of 30 thieves every single day. The moment the words left his mouth, the entire scene fell silent. Everyone was stunned by Lin Dashin's declaration. 30. That's ridiculous. Last year's city-wide top performer didn't even catch 30 thieves in a single day. After a few seconds of silence, the other station chiefs burst into laughter. Hey old Lin, you haven't been drinking, have you? 30 thieves a day? Can your Urxiankyo station even manage that? Yeah, old Lin, forget 30 if you guys at Urxiankyo can catch 15 in a day, I'll treat you to Kwanjud. Forget 15. If your station can even exceed 10, I'll give you a free van. These past 2 days, Urxiankyo police station nabbed an A-level fugitive, and Lin Dashin was absolutely bragging like crazy. In the group chat, Lin Dashin kept posting non-stop either about the station getting commended or a rookie earning a second-class merit award. It left the others feeling sour. Finally getting a chance to show off, they couldn't resist shooting their mouths off. Lin Dashin's face darkened at the remark, but he forced himself to say, "Why not? Our station has already caught 9 thieves. Old Lin, 30 thieves a day means 15 in half a day. You're still 6 short." The other station chiefs chimed in immediately. Gao Tongwei frowned, his gaze turning slightly displeased toward Lin Dashin. Dashin, this isn't child's play. We must base our targets on the station's actual capabilities. I'll ask again, what is your station's target? Lin Dashin lowered his head, his face twisted into a bitter expression. After wrestling with it for ages, he finally accepted reality and was about to speak. Beep. But just then, the phone rang abruptly. Seeing it was Shuri-chan calling, Lin Dashin hurriedly answered. The next second, Shuri-chan's slightly exasperated voice came through the line. Chief, Fong Ning just caught 23 thieves. Requesting backup. Good. Lin Dashin's eyes lit up, the gloom vanishing instantly as his back straightened rigidly. Gao Tongwei noticed the change in Lin Dashin and asked curiously. Dashin, what's got you so excited? Lin Dashin glanced at the chief first, then surveyed the station chiefs gathered around. He suddenly cleared his throat twice and waved his hand dismissively, as if brushing off a trivial matter. Nothing much. Just another 23 thieves arrested at the station earlier. Add the 9 from earlier, and that makes 32 in total. Whoa! The crowd gasped in shock, their jaws dropping wide enough to fit a duck egg. What's going on? When did thieves become so easy to catch? Last year, the top-ranked station only caught 30 thieves in a single day at most. Urxian Bridge caught 32 in half a day? Wow, they've gone from dead last straight to first place skipping all the steps in between. Old Lin, you're not joking, are you? 32 thieves in just one morning? When did your station become so formidable? Lin Dashin snorted coldly, his voice tinged with displeasure. You think I'm lying? 32 thieves. No exaggeration. Come visit our station anytime. Hearing this, everyone was completely convinced and looked at Lin Dashin with envy. Each of them felt a pang of envy, wondering how Urxiankyo had suddenly become so formidable today. Lin Dashin felt thoroughly vindicated, and didn't forget to glance at the 2 station chiefs he'd just bet with. Old Lu, Old Li, a meal and a van. Don't forget. The 2 men went pale and fell completely silent. Gao Tongwei was delighted to hear Urxiankyo had actually apprehended 32 thieves, yet he couldn't help but feel puzzled. How did Urxiankyo suddenly become so formidable? Curious, he turned to Lin Dashin and asked. Dashin, your Urxiankyo station has performed remarkably well, apprehending so many criminals. Must have been a full-scale operation, right? All the station chiefs perked up their ears, afraid to miss a single word. Lin Dashin looked peculiar, struggling to find the right words for a long while before finally shrugging his shoulders. Actually, Fong Ning caught all of them single-handedly. Boom! The moment those words left his mouth, the atmosphere exploded like a barrel of gunpowder. Chapter 17, rounding up to 40 fill the truck. Fong Ning? Gao Tongwei furrowed his brow slightly, the name feeling vaguely familiar. Suddenly, his eyes lit up. Wasn't this the rookie from Urxiankyo police station, the one who caught that Class A fugitive? Yesterday, he'd personally rushed the application for a second-class merit award to headquarters. This kid was something else. Not only did he nab an A-level fugitive on his first day, but he was also a master thief catcher. Dashin, is this Fong Ning the same one who received the second-class merit award? Yes, Chief, it's him. Lin Dashin's face broke into a broad smile, the corners crinkling with laughter. What? Fong Ning? The guy who got that second-class merit award? How is that possible? We're all graduates. Why is he already catching criminals while ours are still adjusting to the environment? The other station chiefs couldn't sit still anymore. What's going on? How could the bottom-ranked trainee be this effective? Catching an A-level fugitive on his first day, then nabbing over 30 thieves the next? How is that last place? Back when Lin Dashin called asking to swap out new recruits, they should have agreed. The Beileton station chief's eyes darted over to Lin Dashan, grinning slyly. Dashan, our station's Lu Yu ranked 10th in the trainee evaluations. How about swapping Fong Ning with him? We'll just take the hit. Cut it out. The Lupapu station chief quickly interrupted. Our Wang Meng ranked in the top 3. Swapping with us would be more like it. Lin Dashan's expression darkened. He waved his hands frantically, laughing and cursing. Get lost. What are you thinking? No one's swapping. The others sighed helplessly, their eyes filled with envy as they looked at Lin Dashan. Why doesn't our station have interns like that? Sigh, even the bottom-ranked trainee is this strong. No way. Back at the station, we absolutely must step up new recruit training. There's definitely untapped potential here. The team leaders grew increasingly convinced this approach was viable, already scheming in their minds how to unlock the newcomer's potential. What Fong Ning didn't know was that his 2 astonishing moves had caused his fellow interns to suffer greatly. Meanwhile, the clock ticked toward noon. Fong Ning and Shuri-chan stood on an empty lot outside the jewelry market, their eyes fixed on the distant bus slowly approaching. No choice with over 30 thieves behind us, we couldn't possibly fit them all without a bus. The petty thieves lined up behind us, each with their own peculiar posture. But they all shared one thing in common, they were all crouched on the ground, not daring to speak out of turn. Seeing this scene, Shuri-chan couldn't help but chuckle. These petty thieves were used to acting cocky. After getting caught, they wailed and screamed as if they were the wronged ones. At first, she'd almost believed their pleas. But Fong Ning simply walked up, pulled out the stolen goods, and treated them as if they had no secrets from him. Faced with irrefutable proof, the thieves finally fell silent. For those who still dared to protest despite the evidence, it was even simpler. Fong Ning didn't bother with niceties, he just walked right up and slapped them hard across the face twice, demanding to know if they were convinced. Well, at least no one was arguing now. Shuri-chan caught sight of several thieves whose faces were now swollen like pig heads and nearly burst out laughing. Squeak! The bus came to a slow stop. Fong Ning, Chanjia, this. You guys are way over the top. You must be here to stock up. Goodness, there must be over 30 thieves here. Zhang Feng leapt off the bus, his eyes widening in shock. When the station chief texted him to find a bus to support Fong Ning, he'd wondered if it was overkill. But now it seemed the bus wouldn't even hold everyone, some would have to stand. Fong Ning glanced up at the bus and nodded with satisfaction. This bus is great. How many people can it hold? Zhang Feng paused, then blurted out. Only 24 seats, but it can safely carry 40. Why? 40 people. Fong Ning pondered for a moment, glancing at the bus then at the 20-odd thieves behind him. His eyebrows arched. A bus isn't complete unless it's full. You two wait here. I'll be right back. Without waiting for Zhang Feng or Shuri-chan to react, he plunged back into the jewelry market. The two stood frozen in place, watching Fong Ning's receding back as they murmured in unison. He's got some nerve. Another 10 minutes passed before Fong Ning emerged, leading a group of grimy, disheveled thieves. He muttered under his breath as he walked. 9 plus 31 equals 40, perfect for one truckload. The two were utterly speechless. Catching thieves is one thing, but you're controlling the numbers here? And you only caught 9 to control the total to 40? You're the one who's law-abiding. Wait. Shuri-chan snapped out of it, her expression darkening as her delicate brows shot up. Fong Ning, did you count me in? What? Fong Ning froze, then sucked in a sharp breath, his neck stiffening. Sis-chan, I forgot. Fong Ning. Outside Urxiankyo police station, anti-pickpocketing squads from various districts were returning for lunch. Whenever they bumped into each other, they'd exchange updates. How's it going? How many thieves did you catch? Reactions varied. Some teams had already met their 3 arrest quota, while others hadn't made a single catch all morning. Old Wang, how's your team doing this morning? Any luck? The officer called Old Wang's side at the question. Don't even ask. We got completely wiped out this morning. If we don't make any arrests this afternoon, we'll be humiliated. If we don't meet our quota, our year-end evaluations are in trouble. Sigh, if only we could team up with Daching's squad. If we were paired with Daching's team, forget about 3 arrests a day with some effort, we could even nab 10 thieves in a single day. The man patted Old Wang on the shoulder. Don't even think about it. I heard Daching's already gearing up to catch thieves on his own, trying to prove his worth to the chief. The two chatted idly, clearly holding Zhao Daching in high regard. Zhao Daching had been on the job for years, earning outstanding officer every single year. He'd even developed his own set of tricks for catching thieves. His personal best was 12 thieves in a single day. Of course, that was from raiding a criminal hideout. But no one at Urxiankyo police station had broken that record in years, showing just how tough catching thieves really was. Squeak! A bus pulled up slowly at the station entrance, drawing the attention of everyone in the courtyard. Zhang Feng got off, exchanged greetings with the old man, and drove the bus into the courtyard. Zhang Feng? What are you doing driving a bus? Is there an urgent mission? Watching Zhang Feng drive in a bus, everyone couldn't help but feel puzzled. Zhang Feng chuckled without answering, then slammed open the door. The cargo inside is all precious goods you'll see for yourselves. Curiosity piqued, the crowd swarmed aboard to investigate. Holy crap! What is this? These are all thieves? The crowd stood frozen in shock, staring dumbstruck at the motionless figures inside the cabin. The bus was packed to the brim, bodies crammed together with no room to even stand. Goodness, how many thieves is that? Did you catch them all? Zhang Feng chuckled and waved his hands dismissively. I couldn't possibly have that kind of skill. Guess who caught them all? I know. It must be Zhao Duqing. He said he'd go all out catching thieves today. Old Wan declared with certainty from the crowd. Zhang Feng shook his head mysteriously. Only when everyone in the courtyard turned to look at him did he whisper softly. These thieves were all caught by Fong Ning. Chapter 18, Catching Thieves Requires Talent. The entire courtyard froze in place, their faces etched with utter disbelief. Fong Ning? Isn't he the chief's new apprentice, the one who just got a second-class merit award? But he's a rookie, right? How could he be so skilled at catching thieves? Zhang Feng, are you saying Fong Ning caught all these thieves on the bus by himself? Someone in the crowd found it too unbelievable, their tone dripping with skepticism. Zhang Feng saw the doubt in everyone's eyes and pointed at the bus. To be precise, all 40 thieves on the bus were apprehended by Fong Ning alone. The crowd gasped in astonishment. 40? What? 40? Did I hear that wrong? 40? Not 10? Zhang Feng didn't respond. As soon as the door opened, he began ordering the thieves off the vehicle. We're here. Get off the bus. Line up and behave yourselves. Passengers slowly began disembarking from the bus. 1, 2, 3, exactly 40, not one more or less. Each thief had their hands bound, tethered together in a line by a single rope, a truly spectacular sight. This time, everyone got a clear look. They stood rooted to the spot, not moving an inch. 40 thieves. How had Fong Ning managed this? Remember, the chief had set a quota of 3 per day for each squad. You nabbed 40 in just one morning? How are the others supposed to compete? Was Fong Ning really a rookie? Why did everyone feel like they were the newbies compared to him? Zhang Feng saw the awkward expressions on everyone's faces and felt a surge of delight. Already overwhelmed by this? If I told you these 40 were all pre-calculated by Fong Ning, you'd be terrified. Fong Ning is amazing. He said he'd round up 9 to fill a van, and he actually did it. Ignoring the stunned crowd, Zhang Feng hurriedly grabbed He Wei and headed off to register the thieves. After all, 40 people was no small number. Old Town District, Rice Noodle Shop. Ding. Criminal apprehension detected. Reward justice points, 100. Ding. Successful apprehension of criminal detected. Reward justice points, 100. Ding. Successful apprehension of criminal detected. Reward justice points, 100. Hearing the system's reward notification, Fong Ning grinned from ear to ear. This justice points came way too easily. In just half a day, he'd earned 4,000 justice points, enough for 20 draws. Having experienced the benefits of a god-tier buff, Fong Ning was growing increasingly fond of the thrill of the lottery. Fancy another go? Nah, let's do it together tonight. With that decision made, Fong Ning stopped overthinking and settled in to enjoy his noodles. Sitting across from him, Shuri-chan kept glancing up at Fong Ning, her lips curling in displeasure. She'd figured it out by now. Fong Ning wasn't just a thief-catching maniac, he was also a bit dim-witted. Not only did he forget to reserve a seat on the bus, but he kept grinning like an idiot during lunch. It was giving her a headache. She couldn't fathom how someone in this mental state had managed to catch 40 thieves in a single morning. After enduring Fong Ning's relentless torment all morning, Shuri-chan felt she understood him thoroughly. There was no way Fong Ning could unsettle her anymore. But the slap in the face came all too quickly. Fong Ning finished his noodles without a second thought and headed to the cash register to pay. Shuri-chan's expression softened slightly. At least you have some decency left, you know, to treat someone. Sir, that's 20 yuan for 2 bowls of noodles. Would you like to pay with Alipay or? I only ate 1 bowl. Here's 10 yuan. Fong Ning pulled out a 10 yuan bill. Okay. The owner clearly hadn't processed the situation yet. He stood there dumbfounded for half a minute before taking the money, his eyes darting suspiciously between the two of them. Shuri-chan's facial muscles instantly stiffened, and the relaxed frown between her brows suddenly deepened. Her teeth clenched together with a sharp click as she shot Fong Ning a furious glare. Seeing Fong Ning show no intention of turning back, she rolled her eyes in frustration. She angrily pulled out her phone to pay, then strode briskly out of the rice noodle shop. Watching Shuri-chan's hasty departure, Fong Ning, clueless about what had happened, hurried to catch up. Not long after setting off, they unexpectedly encountered an acquaintance, Zhao Duqing. Zhao Duqing immediately spotted Shuri-chan, his face lighting up with joy. But when he suddenly noticed Fong Ning trailing behind her, his expression darkened instantly. He had long admired Shuri-chan. Not only was she outstanding at her job, but she was also the police beauty everyone admired. As the station's star officer and a renowned crime-solving celebrity, he believed he alone was worthy of Shuri-chan. Yet Shuri-chan had always kept her distance from him, neither warmly friendly nor coldly distant, maintaining only a normal colleague relationship. But just now, he'd actually seen Shuri-chan pouting in silent anger, with that kid Fong Ning trailing behind her. His blood boiled instantly. Kid, catching that fugitive was just luck. When it comes to catching criminals, you've got a long way to go. Zhao Daqing walked up to them, narrowing his eyes. Deliberately ignoring Fong Ning, he addressed Shuri-chan. Little Chan, why aren't you resting after the mission? Shuri-chan's brows knitted tightly, her expression clearly displeased. Brother Zhao, I've told you many times, just call me Ichan. Zhao Daqing's expression stiffened momentarily before quickly relaxing. My bad. I forgot for a second. Ha! By the way, what are you doing here? On another mission? Shuri-chan pointed at Fong Ning. The chief asked me to bring him along to get familiar with catching thieves, but... Ichan trailed off, unsure how to describe it. Fong Ning had caught 40 thieves in just one morning. What familiarization did he need? But Zhao Daqing thought Fong Ning lacked aptitude. Ichan hesitated to speak up, so she couldn't help but feel delighted inside. She put on a teaching expression. Fong Ning, right? Catching thieves takes talent. Some people just aren't cut out for it from the start. No matter how hard they try later, they'll never be great at it. But no worries, you've met me. Today, I'll show you how it's done. Fong Ning was momentarily speechless. Zhao Daqing, he remembered him. The one who wanted to be his master this morning. But having lived over 40 years across 2 lifetimes, Fong Ning couldn't care less about petty squabbles and wanted no trouble. His sole focus now was catching thieves. Thanks, Brother Zhao, but I'll pass. I can handle this myself. Fong Ning's tone was calm. He truly could handle it. The 40 thieves he'd caught that morning were already in the police station. Zhao Daqing's expression darkened instantly, his voice turning stern. Don't think catching an A-level fugitive makes you special. That was just luck. Catching thieves isn't about luck, it takes talent. Let me tell you, I've already caught 5 thieves this morning. Fong Ning's expression froze. 5 thieves? That's what you call talent? Shuri-chan also wore a peculiar expression, about to speak up when Zhao Daqing cut him off. Oomph, ungrateful bastard. Tonight I'll show you what a pickpocket-busting legend looks like. With a cold snort, he turned and strode away with flair. Shuri-chan watched Zhao Daqing's hasty departure, her lips twitching. The words she'd intended to speak ultimately remained unspoken. Suddenly, a thought surfaced in her mind. Looks like someone's going to have another sleepless night tonight. Chapter 19, Simple, just catch all the thieves. After Zhao Daqing left, Fong Ning seemed completely unfazed. Instead, he cracked a smile. Sis-chan, I feel like there aren't many thieves left in the jewelry market. Why don't we check out other places? Are there any nearby spots with more thieves? Si-chan rolled her eyes instantly. You think this is window shopping? Just move on to the next one after you're done with this one? Aren't 40 thieves enough? You still want to catch more? Seeing Fong Ning's determined gaze, Shuri-chan couldn't refuse. She whispered softly. There are more thieves around the East bus station, but people are scattered there. Luck plays a big part. Got it. Fong Ning turned and sprinted off, his speed resembling a money grab. Over here. Shuri-chan took a deep breath and called out to Fong Ning, who was running in the wrong direction, a hint of exasperation in her expression. Guided by Shuri-chan, the two soon arrived at the East bus station in the Old City district. Along the way, Shuri-chan kept explaining the situation to Fong Ning. The East bus station was the oldest in the Old City district, once the heart of the old urban core. It handled tens of thousands of passengers daily, with buses departing roughly every half hour. Due to the high volume of people, the Old City District Police Station maintained a permanent police post here. As they spoke, they approached a guard booth at the corner of the station plaza. Inside the booth stood 2 officers, Huang Ming and Lu Bo, coincidentally from Urxiankyo Police Station. Sister Chan, what brings you here? Tall and lanky, Huang Ming spotted Shuri-chan immediately and greeted her with a smile. Yeah, Sister Chan, aren't you going back to rest? Lu Bo, who was a bit short and stocky, asked cheerfully with a twinkle in his eye. Can't sit still. The chief asked me to bring Fong Ning along for some experience. Once bitten, twice shy. Shi-chan dared not mention bringing Fong Ning along to learn how to catch thieves again. Who was the apprentice and who was the master? That was debatable. He feared others couldn't handle it, but more than that, he feared he himself couldn't handle it. Huang Ming's interest was instantly piqued, his eyes fixed intently on Fong Ning. Lu Bo's narrowed eyes widened in surprise. You're that Fong Ning who nabbed an A-level fugitive on your very first day on the job. The two hadn't returned to the station in days because they were on duty at the bus terminal. But they'd heard rumors about a prodigy arriving at the station, someone who earned a second-class merit award on their first day and was immediately made permanent. They kept sizing up Fong Ning, trying to figure out what made him so special. Fong Ning smiled and greeted Huang Ming and Lu Bo, but his eyes darted around uncontrollably. By the way, are there many thieves around here? Huang Ming paused, surprised by the question. Assuming Fong Ning was just getting acquainted with the area, he shook his head. Plenty. How could there not be? We get around 200 reports daily, and that's not even during peak season. Ring. Before he could finish, the phone inside the booth rang. Lu Bo answered the call, his smile vanishing instantly. Hey, old Huang, you really have a way with words. The command center just called, someone reported a crime, and the suspect is right in the bus terminal. Huang Ming gave a wry smile, gathered his gear, and prepared to rush over. Before leaving, he glanced at Fong Ning. Want to come along and take a look? Fong Ning couldn't have asked for more and readily agreed. The group of four headed toward the waiting area. Within minutes, they reached the waiting hall. The waiting hall was spacious with high ceilings, its lower level densely packed with several rows of seats, at least several hundred. Yet even this wasn't enough for all the passengers waiting. Many sat on the floor, luggage in tow. The sounds of people listening to music, cracking sunflower seeds, and children crying rose and fell in waves, making the entire hall feel chaotic. The moment they entered the waiting room, Fong Ning activated his true sight. Immediately, a dense cluster of tiny red dots appeared around him, at least several dozen. He'd come to the right place. There were far too many. Surveying the sea of red dots within his true sight, Fong Ning's mouth twisted into a wide grin. Just then, a voice tinged with tears reached him. Officer, the 60,000 yuan I worked so hard to earn is gone. You have to help me, or I won't go on living. The sobbing old man slumped to the ground, tears streaming down his weathered face. At his feet lay 2 burlap urea bags. Below the bags, knife marks were clearly visible. Another knife. Fong Ning had his suspicions confirmed. The old man's money had been stolen by a thief who slashed the bags with a knife. Lu Bo helped the old man up and hurriedly reassured him. Don't worry, old man. Do you remember when the money went missing? Did you see anyone suspicious pass by? The old man grabbed Lu Bo's hand, his eyes filled with anxiety. 10 minutes. I was still paying for something just 10 minutes ago. Huang Ming listened to the old man's words, his expression turning thoughtful. After a moment's pause, he analyzed. With so many people here, checking each one is unrealistic. Let's review the surveillance footage first. Shuri-chan and Lu Bo had no better options at the moment, so they nodded in agreement. Fong Ning remained silent, his gaze fixed on the departure schedule in the waiting hall. In less than half an hour, all the buses would depart. By then, the thief would be long gone. It would be too late. What to do? Fong Ning's mind raced. That's it. Fong Ning slapped his forehead in realization. There's no time. I've already spotted several thieves. Why not catch them all before the buses depart? Huang Ming and Lu Bo froze in place, nearly cursing out loud. Arrest every thief in the waiting room? Are you kidding? There are at least 800 people in this waiting room. Finding people is hard enough, let alone finding thieves? Newbies really are newbies. They think catching thieves is that easy? The two exchanged a glance, then turned their eyes to Shuri-chan. The implication was clear, you're the most experienced here. We'll follow your lead. Shuri-chan clenched her teeth, took a deep breath, and said, follow his lead. Recalling Fong Ning's performance, she had an instinctive feeling trusting him was definitely the right call. Unbeknownst to them, their dynamic had subtly shifted to place Fong Ning at the center. All right. Seeing Shuri-chan's agreement, Huang Ming and the others nodded, saying no more. Fong Ning swiftly activated True Sight, issuing a series of commands. Southwest corner of the car, young man wearing a fisherman's hat, take control of him first. The woman crouched near the ticket machine on the east side. The couple in matching outfits, 6th seat in the second row south. While issuing commands, Fong Ning blocked the exit of the waiting hall, ensuring all thieves had nowhere to escape. Upon receiving the orders, the three moved swiftly. At first, Huang Ming and Lu Bo showed some resistance. A woman and a couple? They didn't look like thieves at all. But seeing Shuri-chan show no hesitation as she handcuffed the third person, they steeled themselves and apprehended them all. Only after searching them did they discover the woman and the thieves were indeed thieves. Their bags were filled with stolen phones and cash. Now Huang Ming and Lu Bo were completely convinced. Whoever Fong Ning said to arrest, they arrested. The more they arrested, the smoother it got and the more excited they became. This mindless thrill of catching thieves felt absolutely fantastic. After half an hour of their combined efforts, every thief in the lobby had been apprehended. Seeing the dense crowd of thieves, Shuri-chan felt overwhelmed. How could Fong Ning always manage to round up such a huge group wherever he went? Taking a deep breath, she felt too embarrassed to call the station chief this time, so she dialed Zhang Feng directly. Inside the Urxiankyo police station, Zhang Feng and He Wei were drenched in sweat, busily registering 40 thieves. Suddenly, Shi Yi-chan's call came through, and Zhang Feng immediately had a bad feeling. Sure enough, the clear, pleasant voice on the other end said, Zhang, is the bus still available? Could you make another trip? Chapter 20, This is just my hobby. Zhang Feng nearly dropped his phone in shock. What? Sister Chan, there's more? Zhang Feng glanced back at the seemingly endless line, his face crumpling into a frown. How long has it even been? We haven't finished registering the 40 thieves yet, and now another busload? Shin Yi-chan cleared her throat awkwardly. Not many this time, just over 30. Zhang Feng's mouth twitched. Not many? Just over 30? Why does this feel like a subtle boast? Got it, I'll head over now. Still the jewelry market? No, we're at the East bus station. Got it, I'm on my way. Zhang Feng slammed down the phone and dashed toward the door, leaving Yue, who was in the middle of registering, looking completely bewildered. Wait, there are so many thieves around. How long are you going to be gone? Zhang Feng had already dashed to the door, leaving only a light-hearted remark. No rush. I'll go get another busload. East bus station waiting hall. Huang Ming and Lubo stood in